man who worked the night shift before me didn't quit. He disappeared. I didn't know that on my first night. All I knew was that the pay was good, the hours were quiet, and the building looked empty enough to feel safe. It was an office building on the edge of town. 5 floors, glass walls in front, concrete everywhere else. During the day, it held accountants and managers and people in suits. At night, it held me. The manager handed me a ring of keys and a clipboard. "You'll be alone from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., he said. "Just check each floor every hour. Make sure the doors are locked. Don't let anyone in." "What about the guy before me?" I asked. He paused, just for a second. "He left," he said. "Didn't give notice." That was it. No details. I started at 9:55 p.m. The lobby lights were already dimmed. Only half of them stayed on at night. The rest were on motion sensors. When I stepped inside, the lights flicked on one by one above me. The sound echoed too much. My boots hit the marble floor, and it felt like the building was listening. There was a security desk near the elevators. Old monitors sat on it, showing different camera feeds. Parking lot, stairwells, hallways. Everything looked normal. Too normal. I signed the logbook. My name looked small on the page. I opened the desk drawer to see what was inside. That's when I found the envelope. It was thick, folded once. No stamp, no name, just 3 words written in black marker. "For the next one." My stomach tightened. I stared at it for a long time before touching it. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe the guy before me liked drama. Still, my hands felt colder than they should have when I picked it up. Inside was a single sheet of paper. It wasn't typed. It was written by hand. Messy, pressed hard into the paper. It said, "If you're reading this, you took the job. They won't tell you why I left. I didn't quit. Listen carefully. At 2:47 a.m., you will hear footsteps on the 3rd floor. There should be no one there. Do not go looking for it. If you see it on the cameras, look away. If it stands outside the security office door, do not open it. And whatever you do not let it know you can see it." My mouth went dry. I read it again. 2:47 a.m. I checked the time on the monitor. 10:18 p.m. Hours away, I laughed once. Quiet, nervous. People leave weird stuff behind all the time. Maybe this guy wanted to scare the new hire. Still, I folded the paper and slipped it into my pocket. Just in case. The first 2 hours were fine. I checked each floor like I was told. 5th floor, empty cubicles, chairs tucked in, the smell of old coffee. 4th floor, conference rooms with long tables. My reflection stared back at me in the glass walls. 3rd floor, same as the others. Quiet, nothing moved. 2nd floor, HR offices, filing cabinets, the hum of air vents. 1st floor, lobby again. Each time I walked, my footsteps bounced off the walls. Every little sound felt too loud. By midnight, I started to relax. The note felt stupid now. I made coffee in the break room and watched the camera feeds. Nothing moved outside, no cars in the parking lot. 1:15 a.m., still quiet. 1:50 a.m. I stopped looking at the clock, but my eyes kept drifting back. 2:20 a.m., I told myself I wouldn't care about 2:47. It was just a number. 2:38 a.m. The air felt colder. I rubbed my arms. The building made a low popping sound somewhere above me, like metal shifting. Old buildings make noises, I told myself. 2:44 a.m. I stood up. I don't know why. I just didn't want to be sitting when 2:47 came. 2:46 a.m. The second hand on the wall clock moved too slow. Then 2:47 a.m. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. I almost laughed. And then I heard it. Footsteps above me. Slow, even, heavy. Third floor. I froze. It wasn't the random pop of pipes. It wasn't a creak. It was steps. 1, 2, 3. Moving across the floor. I looked up at the ceiling like I could see through it. The steps continued. Calm. Steady. Not running. Not dragging. Walking. I forced myself to sit down at the desk. The note. It said, "Don't go looking for it." But I had to check the cameras. Slowly, I turned my eyes to the monitor showing the third floor hallway. The screen flickered once, then steadied. The hallway was empty, but the footsteps didn't stop. They were still moving. I swallowed. Maybe the sound was coming from somewhere else. Maybe the building echoed weird. Then, on the camera feed, something moved at the far end of the hallway. Not walking into view, just appearing, like it had always been there. A tall shape. Too tall. Standing in the middle of the hallway, it didn't look like a person. It looked like the shadow of one. No details, no face, just a dark shape darker than the hallway around it. I leaned closer. The footsteps stopped. The shape didn't move. My chest felt tight. The note said, "If you see it on the cameras, look away." I couldn't. I kept staring. The shape twitched. Not walking, not shifting weight. Just twitching like a glitch. The lights in the hallway flickered. And then the shape was closer. I hadn't seen it move. It was just suddenly halfway down the hall. My heart slammed hard enough to hurt. I forced myself to look away. My hands were shaking. I stared at the desk. Breathe. Just breathe. It's not real. It's a camera glitch. It's your imagination. Then I heard something new. Not above me. Not on the third floor. Right outside the security office. A single step. Right outside the door. The handle didn't move. There was no knock. Just silence. The kind of silence that presses against your ears. I stared at the door. The bottom of it had a small gap where light from the lobby floor came through. A shadow moved across it. Slowly, stopping right in front of the door. The note. If it stands outside the security office door, do not open it. I didn't move, didn't breathe. The shadow stayed there. I could hear something now. Not breathing, not exactly. More like fabric shifting, like something leaning closer. Then, 3 soft taps on the door. Not knocking, more like testing it. I felt tears burn in my eyes. I don't know why. Maybe fear just pushes everything out. The handle turned slightly. It stopped halfway. It didn't rattle. It didn't try hard, just tested. Then went still again. Minutes passed, or seconds. I don't know. Finally, the shadow slid away from the gap. The pressure in the room eased. I didn't move for a long time. When I finally looked at the cameras again, the third floor hallway was empty. 2:59 a.m. The rest of the night was quiet. No more footsteps, no more shadows. At 6 a.m., the morning guard arrived. He was older, gray hair, calm face. "You look like hell," he said. "Did the last guy really quit?" I asked. He stared at me. "Who told you he quit?" My stomach dropped. "He left without notice, right?" The older guard hesitated. They found his car in the parking lot, keys still inside. The air felt thin. "They checked the building?" "Top to bottom," he said. "Nothing." I felt the folded paper in my pocket. I didn't show him. I didn't tell him. I just went home. I didn't sleep that day. I kept replaying the shape in my head. The way it moved without moving. The way it stood outside the door. That night, I almost didn't go back. But I did. The pay was good. And I told myself it was stress, imagination. A bad first night. 10 p.m. The building felt colder than before. I sat down at the desk. The envelope was gone. The drawer was empty. My chest tightened. I know I didn't take it home. I checked my pockets. Nothing. I opened every drawer. Nothing. Then I noticed something on the desk. A new envelope. Same black marker. 3 words. You looked. My hands went numb. I opened it. Inside was a new message. You weren't supposed to watch. Now it knows. Tonight, it won't knock. Tonight, it comes inside. 2:47 a.m. I stared at the clock. It read 10:12 p.m. Hours to go. The building felt smaller, like the walls were closer. Every sound made me jump. Midnight came. Nothing happened. 1:30 a.m. Still quiet. 2:30 a.m. I stood in front of the security office door. If it comes inside, I locked it. Checked the handle twice. 2:46 a.m. I backed away from the door. 2:47 a.m. The lights in the lobby shut off. All of them, at once. Total darkness. The monitors stayed on. Their glow filled the room with pale light. On every single camera feed, it was there, standing, on every floor. At the same time, in every hallway, facing the cameras, facing me. My chest felt like it would explode. The office door behind me creaked, slowly opening. I didn't turn around. The note said, "Do not let it know you can see it." My eyes stayed locked on the monitors. The door opened wider. I felt something step into the room. The air dropped cold against my neck. I stared straight ahead. I didn't blink. One of the camera feeds flickered. The one pointed at the security office. It showed my back. And behind me, something taller than the doorway, leaning down toward my head. The feed glitched. My name appeared across the screen. Not typed, written, like marker on paper. Then all the monitors went black. The last thing I felt was something close to my ear. Not breathing, not speaking, just there. And now, if you take the night shift job at that building, check the desk drawer, because I left you something. And at 2:47 a.m., it's going to see if you look.